So welcome back after I think a couple of weeks. This is now to the last session of this program. It's on governance, leadership, and management. And so, as most of you know, or probably all of you know, that this is about the governance of the college, on the leadership envisaged by the management and the persons in leadership, not just the principal or the secretary of the college, but also in terms of governing body, in terms of management committee, in terms of the IQAC, in terms of heads of department, etc. Because the organogram, a participative management style, all of that comes in this criterion. Okay, and so what does NAAC, wish to see in this? I will just go through this, right? So this whole criterion is on the information on the policies and the practices that the institution has evolved in a matter of planning human resources. Just not faculty, right? Apart from the faculty, you have other people in the institution. Even faculty are the most important, but other people in the institution in terms of the organization, full organization per se, right? Office staff, non-teaching staff, lab attendants, all of that. In terms of their recruitment, what is the policy of the management in terms of recruitment of non-teaching staff, teaching staff? Because some of you are employed by the government. Some government puts contract staff. Some maybe some colleges have got what is called as management paid staff. So what is the recruitment policy? Training for these faculty members and the non-teaching staff. There is a criteria on that. How do we assess the performance, or what you call it performance appraisal of the especially faculty members and the non-teaching staff, because they are part of the system? Then what is the financial management, the implications for the institution and the overall role of the leadership? That is what NAAC is looking at. So, and then for this, there are 5 key indicators. So for Sister Annie and Sister Binsi would have been the one department in the other sessions. Here there are 5 indicators, right? First one is institution's vision and leadership. So this is part of the management's job. What is the vision and mission of the management when they started this college? How is it being, implemented? What are the things put into it? So all of this there. So vision and the leadership in the institution. Then strategy, development and deployment. What is the strategy for the management for the institution, by the management for the institution next 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 20 years or 30 years? Do you see yourself as a college, affiliated college, or do you look at it as an autonomous college, or do you look at it as a university in the few years from now? Are you working towards it? Just not in that academic terms, and also in terms of the infrastructure. How much more do you want to expand? How much more can you invest to expand, right? So strategy development, and how and in what stages is the strategy deployed? So when you come to the criteria and speak about it, then what are the empowerment strategies that are that you have in the institution for the staff, training programs, whatever, okay, professional development programs, etc. And financial management and resource mobilization. So financial management lies solely with the managing committee. That's perfectly all right. But resource mobilization is not just the job of the teachers, right? It is the job also of the management, and part of it may be from the students. But it is a concerted effort to raise resources for the institution. The last one is internal quality assurance system. We have internal quality assurance cell, but do the programs and activities of the internal quality assurance cell ensure there is quality in the institution on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis, semester by semester, month-to-month, whatever. The quality assurance, all the programs are ongoing, and that the quality is retained in the institution. It is not an ad hoc business. One day we have some program, only for that day it happens, next day it's missing. That is not it. So this quality assurance is continuous in the institution. So taking these 5 criteria, I will go through it, see what is it for the institution. I have put a Venn diagram, all of you know what this is, right? Is there openness and transparency and integrity in the institution? Is there effective collaboration between the management, the faculty, the non-teaching staff, the external members on our committees, the governing body, etc.? What are the performance orientation? Are we just people who are welcome, can take anything, everything and anything is acceptable? No. How do we look at the performance of persons? Do we engage with them so that they can improve their performance? Do we engage with them to point out their mistakes and tell them that this is not done, this should be done, this is how it should be do, how we should be doing it? So what are the policy decisions on all of this, right? So from this, I was just going through what NAAC has given in terms of for each of the criteria. So first, the institutional vision and leadership, right? The leadership sets values as well as it's a participative decision-making process. Okay, so decision-making process in the institution is participated. All stakeholders are involved. For example, if you have a strategy plan of improving the quality of your institution in terms of putting in more programs, management may decide, yes, we want to start 2 more new programs this year. But the management has to ask the teachers, or at least inform the teachers beforehand, see, we are going to do this, what do you all think about it? Get some feedback, because it may affect many other things in the institution. Okay, basically what happens is, and I know this from many institutions, the management, the persons in the management, or sisters or fathers in the, I deal mainly with our religious, our Catholic colleges. I also deal with other institutions where the same story is happening. The management committee persons, very few are in the teaching, right? So there is no communication between the teachers and the management. The only person who is there from the management is the secretary of the college, or what you call as the manager of the college. All the others are lay staff who have no connection with the management, except say hello, or when we meet them, wish them, or we have get together or some that way. So there's no communication. So how does this, the decisions of the management trickle down right to the last person? Are all stakeholders involved in the decision-making process, right? And it is, through this, how do we achieve the vision and mission and the goals for the institution, okay? And also build an organizational culture. What do I mean with, why I'm telling you this is, there are many colleges where it is divide and rule. That is one way of people do it. People in the leadership. The second one is there's groupism. One group for, one group against, some other staff this side, one other staff that side. There's a lot of groupism. So there is no culture, organizational culture thing. There is no participative management. There is no sharing of ideas. There is no, taking suggestions and opinions from others. It is I, me, myself, or we decide and you follow. That's how it is. So that is not an organization culture. Basically, the tenets of any organization is organization before self. So that culture should come in. Whatever we do, it's for the organization, for the institution. I should not think of it as, oh, I will get a name. If I do it, will they put me in a position? That should not be it. We are doing a service. It's a noble task that we do. It's a service for the institution as well as for future generations of students. So there should be a well-bonded, well-knitted, okay, a very comprehensive organization culture in the institution, okay? And then how does there should be informal and formal arrangements in the institution to coordinate the academic and administrative planning and implementation, okay, which reflects the institution's efforts in achieving its mission. So it's not only just formal arrangements like policy, decisions, etc. What are the informal arrangements? For example, you have get-togethers for Christmas, or you have get-togethers for Diwali, whatever. Those are some informal things where we meet and talk, where we meet and discuss. It may not be serious discussions, but we may chat and have ideas, get ideas from each other, or share with each other whatever we are going through, whatever. So that's something that we have to look at in the vision and leadership. Then strategy, development, and deployment. So in this, what NAAC is looking at is, I'm just talking about the 5 criteria, right? So in the 5 key indicators, the second key indicator, the leadership should provide clear vision and mission to the institution. There are institutions have a very good vision and mission, because most of our institutions are very old. the founding, visionaries, founding persons, fathers and sisters, when they started the institution, they had a very clear vision and mission for the institution. But today, many of them forget why the institution was started, right? Some of them today say, oh, this college is only for women. Finally, they have men at the postgraduate level. So it may be they made a change in the decision, but that change should have been incorporated in the vision statement or in the mission statement or by some policy decision at the management committee meeting, accepted by the governing body and the university. All of that should be there. So there should be clear vision and mission for the leadership must provide that clarity, okay, to all the stakeholders, staff, students, non-teaching staff, etc. Okay, and the functions of the institution and all the academic units are governed by the principles of participation and transparency. Now, what do I mean by that? First and foremost, we need to have what's called as role and function of each person in the institution. For example, the principal, what is her role and function? The manager, what is the secretary of the college, what is their role and function? Manager cannot be, doing admissions. That is the job of the principal. Academic matters go to the principal. Administrative matters come to the management, right? Because they are the managers. And everybody has to listen to what the management says in terms of administrative structures. But each of the persons holding office, vice principal, deans, etc., must have their job description, okay, written out for them. This person does this kind of jobs. This is under the purview of the vice principal. This is under the purview of the dean. This under these things under the purview of the student academic deans, or cultural activities, or sports and games, whoever they. So accordingly, you have to have role and function written out, okay? And each of this, there must be full participation, not just a token saying, okay, you are vice principal, but no decision making is given to you. You are just sitting there in your office with a big board, nothing happening, right? There must be participants with a participation as well as transparency. Then, formulation of development objectives, directives, and guidelines with specific plans for implementation by aligning the academic as well as the administrative aspects.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes,
Sorry
no
for the
problem,
distance. Ma'am,
no problem.
you're
Yes.
still on the same slide, or
No,
are you moving the slides?
No, I'm not moving the slide. I'm just
Okay,
uploading the
okay,
slide.
okay. Thank you, ma'am.
I'm just giving
Okay,
you an overview of the different five, different indices,
okay, ma'am.
indicators
Thank you,
of
ma'am.
what is
Thank you.
expected from each indicator, right? Because we have persons of management here. That is why I'm
Okay, ma'am.
I wouldn't have gone through it. Okay, so I'm just taking straight from NAAC what NAAC expects, right? Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Faculty empowerment strategies. So the process of planning human resources, including recruitment, performance appraisal, planning professional development programs, okay, getting appropriate feedback, then analysis of that feedback, right? All of this should form the basis of planning for the institution, right? I'll repeat that. The whole human resources planning, okay, and management, starting from recruitment, performance appraisal, having professional development programs, getting appropriate feedback, analysis, etc., right, is the base for our planning. Now, if I do not have faculty, in this country, for example, I want to start a new program, say in mass communication. I'm just giving a random thing, okay? But we do not have persons in India, okay, on robotics. We do not have enough sufficient human resource in this country to come and teach a course, a program on robotics or AI. You here and there we have, but can we big smart people? We start programs in colleges. We don't have resource persons. We don't have teachers. This happened when we started bioinformatics in Madras University. Every college wanted to start bioinformatics because we started it. So they all applied, they all got. They didn't even have teachers. After 1, 2, 3 years, everybody shut shop except Telamaras. So they did not have teachers who were trained in bioinformatics. They had to wait to get teachers who got themselves trained across the globe, not because in India we didn't have it. So we have to look at different things before we do planning for the institution. Even to put up a new building, if we don't have the money, then we decide to ask the faculty for money. But that is not correct, right? Unless the management has got the money to think the put up a building, don't undertake it. We can plan for it, but implementation can be done after 5 years or 10. So I'm just giving you an idea of that is for administration, financial management, but this is faculty empowerment strategy. How do you empower your faculty members? Okay, how do we upgrade their professional competence, both non-teaching and teaching staff, right? And look at the regular performance of faculty members. Then financial management, that I don't have to talk anything about, because that is the thing of the management. They know exactly how to do budgeting and optimum utilization of finances. Okay, they have their things audited, etc. Okay, so that I won't go too much in detail, because it's a very straightforward question there. All they're asking you is the institution has developed strategies for mobilizing resources and ensures transparency in financial management. I think most of our institutions have this. We have nothing to worry about, but that the income and expenditure of the institution are subject to regular internal and external audit. That is the crux of this whole key indicator. Then finally, the internal quality assurance system, right, where this system should be self-regulated, right, and aim at continuous improvement of quality and achieving academic excellence of the institution. Okay, so this is just to give you a few highlights about the criterion 6. So I'll go back to my slide, right. I'm going straight away to the first criterion. First metric, 6 point, this is institutional vision and leadership. The governance of the institution, this is a qualitative, many of the questions in criterion 6 are qualitative. So the governance of the institution is reflective and in tune with the vision and mission of the institution. So when you describe this, okay, it's only 500 words, it's 5 points, but you can't leave it out. You can't leave this out, because it's about the whole institution per se. Although it's only 5 words, you have to write about it. So you describe the vision and mission of your college, right, of the institution, and the nature of governance. Private institution, manager, self-financing institution, whatever you want under the university, what are the things that come under the university, which part of it, all of that governance part of it, you'll have to write down. Then what the perspective plan, this is the most important, the perspective plan and participation of teachers in the decision-making body of the institution. So write all that, because later on they ask you about the organogram. So what is described in the organogram should be here of how teachers participate in the decision-making body, right? And perspective plan. See, every year the management will have a perspective plan for their institution, but how do you deploy it? So does the management have a plan for the institution? In 5 years you want to go autonomous. In another 10 years you want to become a university, right? How are we working towards it? I'll just give you an example. You may have different plans. So please look at this, write in about 500 words. Don't exceed 490 words will be the best. 10 words, give this way, that way for corrections, etc. Then paste first you have to upload this document, 500 words. They have it in their own space, okay, in the FSR itself. But you have to paste any additional information you have. For example, you had meetings, okay, for the perspective plans. Management would have had different meetings, meeting with the principal, meeting with the governing body, meeting with the finance committee. So those perspective, all those meetings should be uploaded. Then how do teachers participate in the decision making, minutes of meetings of, say for example, staff council, the meeting of the deans, right? So all of that should be uploaded. A lot of documentation. It looks very simple, but a lot of documentation. And if you have any additional information, okay, committees which have been set up, all that you can write, but provided you have the documentation for it, okay? So governance of the institution is reflective and tuned with the vision and mission of the institution. Moving. Okay, do you see my slide?
Yes, ma'am, yes, we can see.
Second one, 6.2.2.
Yes, ma'am. Now, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So next one is strategy development and deployment. This is for 10 points, right? The functioning of the institutional bodies is effective and efficient. When I say institutional bodies, it can be academic council, governing body, boards of studies. You may not have all of this because you're affiliated in an institution, but other autonomous colleges have that. But you may have a management committee, you have a governing body, you have finance committee, you may have a deanery, number of things, the deans, etc. So who is persons in vice principals, persons in charge of library or whatever. So here in this one, there are policies for this. How do you appoint persons into, for example, a principal? How does the management appoint the principal? On seniority, as per government norms, what the government norms, but as a minority college, do you have the opportunity to, or the leeway to appoint a Catholic in that place, or whatever it is, whatever the policy? So in keeping with the government policy or the UGC's policy, what else is that? It is a right as an institution, as a Catholic institution, it is our right to appoint a person from the minority. Nobody can question that. It may be on seniority, that's a different story, but can be a Catholic. Then what is the administrative setup? So you have a principal, academics thing is the principal, the non-academic will be the administrative setup. Appointment, how do you do the appointment? What are the service rules? What are the procedures, etc.? So all of this begin. You have to describe the organogram of the institution with the maximum, within a maximum of 500 words. So all of this policy is all you can link, you can upload. Okay, appointment, how appointment made can be uploaded, right? Service rules can be uploaded. Procedures, little bit of it you can write down. So you have to paste the link for additional information, link to organogram for the institution website, and upload any additional information. Now here, when you describe the organogram, do a line diagram. Give the line diagram of the organogram. For example, head is at the topmost will be the provincial, because provincial usually is the chairperson of the governing body and maybe of the management committee. I don't know how it functions in different organizations, have different congregations, have different way of having their management committee. But you can put the governing, first will be the management committee. Okay, let us get this right. First is the management committee, because the management are the owners of the institution. You own the institution, okay, and you manage the institution. The governing body will come next, below that, and management committee will only be sisters. You don't have to have anybody else. The chairperson management committee can be the superior of the house, or it can be the provincial, or one of her deputies. Plus, all those sisters who are in the college will be part of the management committee. That's how we have in Salam Maris and other institutions. All those sisters working in the college will be part of the management committee. Then the superior is the chairperson. Plus, there may be the secretary who's, because she also is working there. There may be this bursa who's working. So, all of these people will form the management committee. Those are not involved in the college, need not be in the management committee. For example, if you have hostels and you have sisters who are wardens, they also will be in the management. So the whole institution, who all sisters represent, those sisters who are represented in the management committee will be those who are working in the college in some capacity, or the other librarian, or maybe in charge of, the overall cleanliness of the college, like superintendent of the office, or whoever it is, all of them will be part of the management committee. Now, what you need to look at is, when you draw the diagram, always put the management committee on top, then come governing body, then split it into two after that. One side will be administrative, right? Under the management committee, one side will be administrative, the other will be academic. For the academic, principal will be the head. Under principal, there will be vice principal, deans, people in charge of sports and games, librarian, etc. All that is academic. Under the administrative setup will be the manager or secretary of the college. Then will come superintendent of the office. There will be non-teaching staff. There will also be, any finance committee. All the bursa will all be under the administrative setup. So two clear distinctions you should have. Two clear arrows. One for administrative, one for the academic. Okay. Am I clear on this? Any questions so far?
No, ma'am, no questions.
Okay, so I'll go ahead. 6.2.3, this is an optional metric, implementation of e-governance in areas of operation. Now that I think that optional is gone now, they are asking for it to be implemented. Lately, I just heard from NAAC that they are asking for this to implement. So you must have what is called as a ERP, okay? Strategy Development Deployment, that ERP. Which of these are under e-governance? Administration, finance and accounting, student admission and support, examination. For example, finance and account, generally it will be done using Tally software or whatever. Okay. Administration. Does the administration have different ways of looking at the institution? Is that many colleges don't have the administration part, but they've got finance and accounting, student admission and support, examination. Now, when it comes to administration, it means teachers signing in, signing out. Okay, non-teaching staff, leave rules, days of leave, Then when you go for programs, right, on duty leave, all of those things are under administration. Also, when we go for a refresher course or orientation course or any seminar, etc., all that comes under the administrative part of the e-governance portal, what we call as the ERP. Okay, and student admission, right from admission till student exit, till they get their transfer certificate, and also finally their degree certificate, is all under the ERP system. Right from the day the student enters the college, admission number from that time, what all courses she has done, what all programs she has done, or whatever activity, extracurricular activities, did she take part in sports, games, who was the mentor, who was which year they everything should be there. That should be your student admission and the support. What are scholarship you are given, fee waivers given, any awards she has received, and all of that should be there in the student admission student portal. Then examinations, right from CA, internal marks, attendance, right? End semester marks, even the university marks, it is the university, enter the marks in the institution e-portal. So students at some point, and the parents want to see it, it is there. Many students don't give their mark certificate to their parents, okay? So under this, if you have all of them, you'll get full points, only 4 points, but even then it makes a whole lot of difference, okay? Every point counts. Okay, for example, I know one college now, they got off by the skin of their teeth. They got 3.02. Okay, you can imagine 3.02, and they got A grade with that. So my point is, every point counts. So even small little things, please, submit a documentation for it and answer them that particular metric. So file description, any additional information, ERP, okay, was enterprise resource planning document. Then screenshots of user interface. Suppose you're marking attendance of students on the exam thing portal, attendance portal. Take screenshots of it now itself and keep. Don't take the last minute. You know why I'm saying? If you take in the last minute, it will show that you have just implemented that portal. Okay, so if you already have some of this now, take screenshots of it. For example, finance and accounts, sisters definitely be having some software for it. So take screenshots of it with the date, so that location, you put the location on and take with the date. So it's obvious to persons who come and to NAAC that this has already been existing in the institution. Okay, then all of this information you have to give the data template for all. There is a data template for this, and so you follow the data template. Okay, here they're giving you areas of governance, this thing, year of implementation of each of this. Suppose you did administration this year, but finance and accounts was done 5 years ago. Put that date. Okay, student admission support, maybe last year started it. Put that date. Examination, maybe next year you're going to do it. Put that date. Okay. Now, what are the documents required for this? Institutional expenditure statements for the heads of e-governance implementation, reflected in the auditor statement. So, how much of money was spent by the college, right, to get this ERP done? Okay, for the ERP, you need to have cloud-based servers. You need to have a systems administrator. You need to procure the software. You have to have somebody, and then implementation of software and all the systems in the institution. Okay, so whoever's into the thing, then what is your ERP document? Where do you buy it? One college now has prepared their own ERP. For example, in St. Albert's, I think, has got their own ERP. Father Christie did it for them. So you can have your own ERP done. Then screenshots of user interface for each module reflecting the name of the HEI, and annual e-governance report approved by the governing body, okay, or governing council of the college. Now that is at the end of the year, sisters have to make sure that all of this, or even the principal has to make sure, which is the academic part of it, the e-governance report, where there was a lag, is it running smoothly, how much is spent on it, the whole report, what all was covered in this, all this should be approved by the governing body of the institution. And what is the policy document of this? Okay, what is the institution has to write a policy on e-governance of how you will store the data in the years to come. That is the most important aspect for this. Then bills, what is the specific instruction of the HEI, bills for the expenditure on implementation of e-governance in the area of operation, including the AMC. Okay, including the AMC. So I'll pass on to the next one. 6.3.1, the institution, which is faculty empowerment strategies. The institution has effective welfare measures for teaching and non-teaching staff. And I'm talking about welfare measures. Okay, you have to give a list of existing welfare measures for teaching and non-teaching staff. Now, I'll just give you some idea of what they are. See, in some colleges, they have a cooperative store for non-teaching staff. In some colleges, have for teaching and for non-teaching staff, they have a cooperative store. So that is a welfare measure where they buy in bulk and then it is sold at a non-profit basis in the cooperative store, including things like rice and dal, etc. for non-teaching staff. Teaching staff, they don't give too much, okay? Cooperative store for students, but that need not come in over here. Many colleges have got cooperative store for students, but that need not come only for teaching and for non-teaching. One of the other measures you can have is if the institution has got buses, one college has got 11 buses, okay, all the teaching and non-teaching staff have a free bus ride, which means 2-3 things. Not too many vehicles are in the college, right? Public transport hasn't we got to use. They come by the college thing, okay, and they don't spend on the transport. Plus, they're all there on time. Okay, staff and students are all there in the institution on time. So all of them come by the institution buses. Okay, so that is one of the welfare measures. Is it's very nice for a college to have a bus to bring their staff and students and come, because then you do not go on the public transport. You don't get delayed by some hartal and some strike and something else, all those things. One of the other measures is free medical treatment, not free medical treatment, insurance for non-teaching and teaching staff. What Stella Maris did, and this I did when Stella Maris was there long ago, we took insurance for all the students at the rate of 31 rupees for a student for a year. It covered up to 1 lakh for each student, 1 lakh and plus hospitalization. So hospitalized up to 1 lakh, 1.5 lakhs it covered, 30 rupees per student. The students paid along with their fees. Because we had 3,500 students at that time, or 3,600 students, the company allowed the faculty and the non-teaching staff to have insurance free of cost for the same amount of 1 or 1.5 lakhs, whatever. So the staff and the non-teaching staff did not pay for the insurance, but all the students paid 30 rupees as a gift from the company. Now, staff can pay that 30 rupees or 50 rupees or 100 rupees, but non-teaching staff, the management can provide small amount of money every year. They'll be most grateful. If you put 100 rupees down for each of them for insurance, they will get it. Then for non-teaching staff, they have interest-free loans. They have a fee waiver for their students, for their children who are studying in the institution. This kind of welfare measures can be done for the non-teaching staff. Teaching staff, very few measures are enough. A cooperative store, things that way can be helpful for the teaching staff. Okay, so give the information as required. First of all, write this in about 500 words. Describe it very clearly. The point is, it will be very, very clear. Okay, then paste the link for additional information and upload any other additional information you have. Okay, see, this whole thing comes to indicator 3 comes to 30 points. So the first one was for 5 weightage. Second is for 10 weightage. Okay, now what is this now? This is a quantitative question. So long we have qualitative. Okay, one of them is quantitative. So this is also quantitative. Average percentage of teachers provided with financial support to attend conferences, workshops, seminars, membership fee for professional bodies in the last 5 years. Okay, so does the college provide any of this for the faculty members? Yes, for the permanent faculty member they will give, but contract staff they need not give. Out of their benevolence, if they give something, well and good. But if they don't want to give for the teaching staff who are on contract, no problem. But at least for the full-time staff, some amount of money can be given towards that. See, for example, a conference registration fee, even 100 rupees, doesn't matter. Okay, the college can raise funds for all of this, but they must support the faculty members to attend conferences, workshops outside the institution. Okay, if you're sending all, like for example, now you're having this program and this is paid by the management, well and good. You can put this as funded by the management. Okay, by the college. So what is the financial support you're giving to attend conference, workshop? Membership fee for professional bodies. For example, I was on the International Society for Computational Biologists, and the fee was paid by because the fee was $1,000 odd, right, for one academic year. The college paid that fee because finally, whatever I got from that International Society of Computational Biologists, I gave to the institution, including all the journals that I had, because the journals are expensive. Because as a member, I got journals at a 60% or 70% reduction. The college only had paid 30% for that fantastic international journal. It came as hard copy and soft copy. So it was a good give back system. The management must be able to get the college person. When I say college, it means the management, okay? Some amount of financial support to attend conference, workshops, etc. See, you all can build a corpus fund towards this, and every faculty member should be able to get some amount of the aid from this corpus fund. Not you can put a rule down or a policy decision that every teacher can get from avail of it at least once a year, and maximum of say 500 rupees or whatever will be given. So if you have that, then you have the scheme in the college. It's very good. Okay, so all you have to put down here is the number of teachers who have been provided with financial support to attend conference or workshops and towards membership fee or professional body year-wise during the last 5 years. You have to calculate this, give the average percentage per year. So get per year. See, here it is number of teachers are provided. So only 5 teachers are provided per year. By say you have 100 teachers in the college, right? It'd be 1 by 20. Okay, into 100. So that is a very minuscule number. So the larger the group of teachers who are, because only number, they're not asking you the amount. Okay, they only ask you the number of teachers who have been something. So even if 50 teachers are given even 100 rupees each, doesn't matter. The number of teachers who are provided with financial support. Okay, and that divided by the total full-time teachers in the college into 100. So you get the average percentage per year, and then that that's how you do the calculation for this, right? And for this, the file description is any additional information, details of teachers provided financial support, attend conferences. So they want to know which conference, who was the teacher, which conference, what conference, when conference, who conducted it, what was the date, certificate, what leave was taken. All of that you have to give for the last 5 years. So in your database, in the administration part of it, all of this information should be already put in, so that if I go for a workshop or a conference, I will put in there the dates, who invited me, the letter should be uploaded, invitation letter, then the participation letter, the certificate, all that should be uploaded before I am granted the leave for this. Okay, so the leave is kept in abeyance. If within a week, if I don't submit all the details, then the college has got the right to not give the leave. You'll have to take your own private leave or whatever. But anyway, whichever way you'll do it, that's okay. But just make sure that all the details of these for the last 5 years are collected and kept by all the faculty members. Okay, so here they ask me also the amount of support. Even if it's 200 rupees or 100 rupees, there's my put the amount of support, because that is not going to carry the weightage. The weightage is on the number of teachers. Okay, so even if you put 100 rupees here, it won't make a difference. What makes a difference is the number of teachers. Okay, so the documents are required. A policy document of providing financial support to the teachers. This is a policy document. You'll have to write down. I don't know if you'll have it. Like I said, then e-copies of letters indicated financial assistance to teachers and list of teachers receiving financial support year-wise under each head for conference, for seminar, for workshop, for professional bodies, membership, etc. Audited statement of accounts highlighting the financial support. So sisters have to look at this. In your financial statement, there must be one subheading, which is support to teachers to attend conferences, workshops, seminars, etc. Okay. Then if the data is large, document related to the specific teachers will be asked during the DVV clarification. So if one teacher has been given, only one teacher has been given, big trouble. If 10 teachers have been given, no problem. So just make sure that things are spaced out and put in well. Then receipt of institution in favor of the teacher with the amount given should be considered. Now this receipt should be, actually money should be given by bank transfer. It should not be done by check or whatever. It is because one college was asked in the Northeast, right? They were asked for the receipt for the bank transfer details. Or they gave the receipt. Father was asked to give the bank transfer details. We had to call the faculty members. Then I think most of them they gave by check. Anyway, that was accepted, but let us not do that. Okay. Then without proof of payment on financial support faculty development, mere name list will not be considered. And as I said, mere cash vouchers for payment will not be considered. It should be written for what specific purpose, etc. Okay. The next one, 6.3.3, which is an optional. Average number of professional development administrative training programs organized by the institution for Sorry, am I gone? Yeah, professional development programs, so both teaching and non-teaching staff, whatever you have conducted, just the number you have to give, okay? The same thing, total number of professional development administrative programs, okay, divided by 5, that's the formula. So just whatever professional development programs you have for teaching. Administrative staff, you can have very much. Professional development programs, yes, on computerization, on use of ERP, that's a professional development program, okay? On capacity building, on different, in the areas or subject areas, all of that can be included. And for non-teaching staff, especially, on financial management, on building competencies for working of the ERP, then for use of computers, etc., can be given for administrative staff also, okay? For the non-teaching staff. So under this, any additional information and report of the Human Resource Development Centers, UGCS or any other centers, reports of academic staff, college or similar centers, etc., all of this should be given. Now, what they are looking for is the date of the training program, the day, the month and the year, then title of the professional development program, organized for teaching staff, the same thing, what is the title of the administrative thing, number of participants. Under this, please have some photographs with the caption and the date. If you have not taken them with the geotagging, at least now please label them and keep them so you don't get mixed up with the photographs later on. So what the documents required, list of professional development or administrative training, programs organized by the institution, brochures and reports year-wise. Same way I told you earlier, some brochures required. Please prepare brochures for all of this and keep. List of participants in each of programs, signed, not just the attendance list, but also that they have signed against it. And please, when you sign, please sign with the date. Please sign with the date. And somebody cross-check that all the signatures and the dates are correct. Right? The teachers do not, teachers or non-teacher, whoever it is, do not make mistakes when they put the date while signing for a program. But there are problems in institutions where somebody has marked the date wrong. It looks so funny. Then annual report of the program conducted at the institution level. So in the principal's annual report, okay, whatever programs are conducted should have been listed. And so I'll ask the college, whenever you have your annual day, annual meet or whatever, annual day, and the principal reads out the college day report. At that time, make sure whatever programs you're claiming over here are also entered in that annual report. Okay. If the data has large D, you'll ask for clarification or any documents pertaining to this. And just seminars, invited talks cannot be included in this metric. Okay. Next one is faculty, again, faculty empowerment strategy. This weightage is 5. Average percentage of teachers undergoing online face-to-face faculty development programs during the last 5 years. So now they put online because only face-to-face. So professional development programs, orientation, induction for refresher courses at the university, orientation programs at the university. For career advancement, you have to undergo orientation program and refresher courses. Please ensure all of you go for those courses. That is most important. Okay. So here, total number of teachers, it's only the number of teachers, okay, attending the professional development. But you'll have to give it in the template, you'll have to give the list of teachers, which program they went for, what date was it, how many days they have the certificate, whatever, keep all that information. So give the total number of teaching staff who are attending such programs by the total number of, by the full-time teachers. So if only 5 teachers are attending, as I told you, for a year, and you have 100 teachers, okay, that means only 5%. It's very small. To ensure that this percentage goes up, people go for refresher courses, short-term courses, orientation courses, etc. Okay, faculty development and faculty development programs should be more than 1 week. That is the standing order, right? So you calculate the average percentage. So any other additional information you have, for example, IQAC reports of the Human Resource Development Centers, details of teachers attending professional development programs in the last 5 years should have, if it's linked to the leave, if they would have taken leave for all of this, right, to go for programs, if it's in working days, you can get the information from that. And as I said, I think, I don't know, I told you all, it is good to have each teacher to have a personal file, right, in which everything has been recorded apart from the ERP. So you have to give the name of the teacher who attended, the title of the program, the duration, day from day to whatever, okay. So refresher course, faculty orientation are the programs for UGC. See, what we do is the secretary of the college will not give permission to draw the salary unless we have submitted the certificate for the program that we go for. Right? Otherwise, we will not draw salary first. So that is something that college management has taken cognizance of. If the teachers are going for refresher course, orientation course, etc., they must give the completion, the certificate is given out at that point in time at the university before the certificate, because it is a substitute. Either the university will give us the government will give a substitute, or the teacher has to finish the workload, her teaching schedule before the going for the refresher course. That's how we do it. We exchange and we go. Then e-copy the certificates of programs attended by the teachers. Then you have to upload all of the certificates. So all these scan and keep them. List of participating teachers as per the prescribed format year-wise during the last 5 years. Annual report highlighting all these programs are taken. So all of this should have been reported by the college in your annual report. And I hope the annual report goes into the college magazine. It is published somewhere. And please take care of that. Now, if one teacher attending more than one professional program, you only have to count that person once. For example, Ordetta goes to 10 programs in the year, she'll be only counted once. Okay? So if the data is large, you'll get DVV seeking clarification. Oh, once again, attending seminars, half-day seminar, one-day seminar, one lecture somewhere, another one half-day somewhere, it cannot be counted. Programs duration less than those stipulated by UGC, AICT, 1 week will not be considered. So if they're less than 1 week, it will not be considered. Please note this. Any program less than 1 week, for example, refresher course. Many colleges, universities conduct, private universities conduct refresher courses. They say 1 week refresher course, but make sure it is 1 week. It's not 4 days or 5 days. It should be 7 days. That's what they mean when they say 1 week. Okay. Do not go for programs for short-term programs which are less than 1 week. It cannot be counted. It's a waste of the time of the management and of the institution per se and of the faculty member also. Then continuing with this, institution has performance appraisal system for teaching and non-teaching staff. So you have to describe the functioning status of the performance appraisal system for teaching. What do you mean by that? First and foremost, do you have a performance appraisal system? What the UGC has got, the CAS, Career Advancement System, is one. But does this institution have anything else beyond this, beyond that CAS of the university or the UGC? For example, do you have peer review, one teacher to the other teacher, right? So, we do peer review. Each one writes about the other person's, they have stated questions there. It's not in our college, but in some other college I saw, where they have certain questions where they review each other. And this is very unbiased. If somebody feels that anything wrong there, they will discuss with the faculty member first before putting down and writing. Okay, so performance appraisal peer review is important. What is the college policy on that? And also this should be for both teaching and for non-teaching staff, right? So this is also for 5 points, and you have any additional link. For example, you have the questionnaire which is filled up by the faculty member. If the head department does a review for all the faculty in the department, you have a questionnaire. If the college has got a separate performance appraisal system, right, then that format can be given. So any other additional information you have, the analysis of it, all that can be uploaded. The next is fourth key indicator, financial management resource mobilization. Very simple. This is for the management. Institution conducts internal and external financial audits regularly. But what they want to know is how do you settle the audit objection. So here you go. Enumerate the various internal and external financial audits carried out during the last 5 years. So you may have in external audit maybe by the government. Okay, they have local fund audit, they have some other audit. Government will have its own auditors coming and checking them because salaries come from the government, etc. But internal audit, does the management have its own auditing system? And most, I think 99.9% of all our Catholic congregations or organizations have got internal audit being done for their institutions. Okay, they'll appoint their own statutory auditors. They do the whole auditing, also for management funds, etc. And then that is submitted, I think, because there are societies that is submitted to the register of societies. So generally, everybody is done, but make sure that this, whatever financial audits are being done, right? You have all the financial statements and whatever audit objections were there, that has been settled. Okay, because they're asking you what is the mechanism for settling the audit objection. So whatever audit objections are there, either from the government or from the internal auditors, whoever the auditors are for the institution, whatever audit objections are there, please settle it so there's nothing outstanding when the time of the NAAC. You have to paste the link for the additional information and upload any other additional information that you may have. Okay, so this is purely a thing for the management. Then financial management, again, this is an optional one. Funds or grants received from non-government bodies individuals, philanthropists, etc. in the last 5 years, which is not covered in criterion 3. There we had a question on what are the grants you're getting from government bodies, non for research, for all of that. Okay. Now this is whatever grants you have received from all of these in lakhs. Even not lakhs, right? Point, if only 50,000, right? By 0.5 lakhs. Okay. So give the information over here, year wise and how much received. Okay. And this must be reflected in the annual statement of accounts, in the financial statement. So please enter whatever money you've got from non-government bodies during the last 5 years. For example, some association gave some money as scholarship. It is entered into your, into your accounts. Please mention that where it is account, where it is mentioned, where it is entered, all of this to be given, and the data for the last 5 years. Okay. Mainly this will be not from sister organizations. For example, if a sister institution run by the same management gives some money, okay, that is not a non-government body. You cannot receive that kind of grants and put it over here. And for this, you have to give the name of the non-government funding agency individual, or the individual, the purpose of the grant, what the money was given. They may have given for buying computers. For example, Salama has got 50 lakhs from Indian Overseas Bank some years ago. Okay, when Jelita wanted to have an account in our bank in the college. So we got 50 lakhs. So that was a big grant we got. We put up a computer center for 100 computers or 120 computers, networking, all of that. Same way, what if the individuals give or agencies give, you can put it down there. Then funds or grants received in lakhs, linked to the audited statement of accounts reflecting the receipt. This is most important. Your audited statement of account must have the receipt, show the receipt of this grant and the expenditure part of it. So for this, what the document required, annual audited statements of accounts, of accounts highlighting the grants received, then copy of letter indicating the grants funds received from the respective agency as stated in the metric. Okay. Funds from, what you can't include, it's funds from own institution, own trust and sister institutions cannot be considered. So the provincial gives some money to the college, that cannot be considered. Okay. Contribution in the form of equipment, software, etc. cannot be counted. So you may get the money, you can buy the equipment, but they can't give you the equipment, that can be counted. Grants received under criterion 3, which is government grants, cannot be repeated over here. All right. Then the next is the institution strategies, mobilization of funds and optimal utilization of resources. So what are the strategies that the institution has got on how to raise money for the institution? What is the policy of the college? And what is the procedure that you do it with? Okay, so you have to describe the resource mobilization policy. How, for example, you want to put up a big building somewhere, okay, a 4-floor building. Then you may plan and say, okay, we will raise money through, through advertisements in a brochure, or we may raise money through a raffle, or through some other programs, or some fundraising. You have other different types of fundraisers, or you may have a student development fund. Each student gives 100 rupees every for 4 years or 5 years. A student gives. We have what's called as a student building fund. In the beginning, when we had the building coming up, we had a building fund. Every student had to pay 100 or 200 rupees with their fees. It was quite a big sizable amount of money, because every semester you have 5,000 students, each of them pays 100 rupees. You know the amount of so many lakhs you get. It is there on paper, a decision has been made, it has been passed the management committee, it has been passed at the governing body, it has been passed in the staff council, everybody knows about it, student council is apprised of it, and the decision has been made to raise money from the thing. The only thing the management does not do is management does not ask the faculty to donate money. Yes, if we want, we can donate, but it is not stipulated that all of us must donate a percentage of our salary. That is not there. I know, I think one institution, I think they got into trouble because somebody was thinking. So you can ask management can ask faculty or students, but it may not be compulsory. For example, poor students cannot be forced to pay 100 rupees or 200 rupees or an even bigger amount towards building fund. But and that can be in the policy, right? So you have to write your policy on how you raise your what is the resource mobilization for the institution, and what the procedure that you have in the institution. I bet you I'm sure you all must be having something. So please put that down very clearly as a policy for about 5, and write the policy as well as what is the procedure you follow for this, and how is the funds. It's a very transparent process. All our congregations have got a very transparent process of how they use the funds that they get. So just put it down there. That's for 500 words. And if you had a fundraiser, the brochure for the fund, if you had a play, put up a musical program, give that brochure, give what the tickets raised, what are the amount sold, and how much the tickets you think, how much the overheads are spent, what are the profit that you all made, and from where that money is going. All this should be reflected in your statement of accounts, right, in your financial statement. And the next one is, I think I just have 2 or 3 more slides to finish, and I hope I'm not wasting my time. Yeah, I think I have time still. Okay, so next is the internal quality assurance system. Okay, so the IQAC has contributed significantly for institutionalizing the quality assurance strategies and processes. So you have to only describe 2 practices institutionalized as a result of IQAC initiatives. For example, one practice can be to send every year to send 2 faculty members for some training program outside. Okay, whatever may be the practice, or some other practice you may have. Okay, whatever the practice you are having, please institutionalize it so that every year it is done, right? And every year you are able to evaluate it. You take a feedback from the persons who have participated in it. It may not be even 2 staff members, it can be something else, whatever the program you have. Evaluate it, right? Take a feedback, analyze it, and whatever result you get, look at whether you need to continue the practice. Okay, so 2 practices on the IQAC initiative, for example, to conduct 2 international conferences every year. Okay, where you'll get at least 5 first resource from outside and 10 participants from outside. Whichever way you want to do it, that depends on the institution and what you'll want to do as an IQAC initiative. Okay, so that you have to describe in 500 words, but please make sure that practice you start now, so that by the time you'll go for your SSR, this practice has been institutionalized. That is the point. Okay, it can't be a once a year program, and once in a lifetime. No, in the last 4-5 years, what is the practice you'll have every year, and how has it been institutionalized? Okay, it's part of your institution's academic program or administrative program thing, functioning or whatever, right? And the next one is, the institution reviews its teaching learning process, structures and methodologies of operations and learning outcomes at periodic intervals through IQAC setup as per norms, and recorded the incremental improvement in various activities. Okay, so for the first cycle, increment improvements made for the preceding 5 years with regard to quality. That's only if you all have already finished 1 cycle, right? Or I don't know how 3 cycles are finished. So this is not for you all, but for all those who are going, that is the first cycle. First person, the institution are going for the first time for NAAC. For those who are going for second and subsequent third, fourth, whatever, incremental improvements made for the preceding 5 years. So if you're going for 4th cycle now, between the 3rd and the 4th cycle, what were the improvements that you'll have made? Teaching, learning. For example, you'll have put in smart boards. You'll have put in, given training to teachers on using of the ERP, given training to teachers on use of LMS, okay, etc. What the infrastructure, the facilities, they put more classrooms, more, other facilities. All of that you can do, and the methodology of operation. So all of this for the last 5 years, at least from the last NAAC to now. Okay, whatever you have done, you have to give. So this year also describe any 2 examples of institutional reviews. You should have had meetings, you should have had some questionnaire, you should have taken a feedback from all the stakeholders on the whole thing, and analyzed it, action taken report for the next year, how you made it better. And how much have you gone from point A to point B, or stuck between point A and point B? What was your upper limit? When you decided this last year, we will look at teaching learning process. This is how we are going to improve it. What the strategy we have for improving it, right? How much money are we going to put into this process or for improving it? How much have we reached? Have we spent all that money? How many people have gone through this whatever process that we want or benefited from it? All of that, please look at. It will take time to write this particular metric. It says 500 words, but you have to look at what you have done to give an answer, so you can link the documents, the feedback, etc. Right? So upload any other additional information that you may have for this. The next one is, what are the quality assurance initiatives institution? Okay. First, regular meetings, IQAC cell, that you definitely must be having. What the feedback has been collected, analyzed, and used for improvements. So from the IQAC cell, have you got feedback from the other faculty members in the institution on how you are functioning, from the students on how you are functioning, from the non-teaching staff on how you are functioning? Okay, have you analyzed it and what have you done about it? What is the action taken, reports, etc. Collaborative quality initiatives with other institutions. What have you done with other institutions? Just not just signing an MOU, signing an agreement, but how has it benefited? What are the benefits of having this collaborative initiatives? Then have the institution participate in NIRF, and you'll have to give the NIRF data. Okay, any other quality audit recognized by state, national, international, ISO certification, NBA. They are also asking for audit. Okay, so all of the above, any three of the above, any two of the above, anyone there, accordingly you have to tick. So you have to paste the annual report of the institution with all the data what is there, upload each copy of the accreditation certificates, upload detail of quality assurance initiative of the institution. And under this, okay, they're asking you here, regular means IQAC held. What the conference, seminars, workshops on quality, not per department. See, many departments are conducting, programs for each department, right? IQAC conducts a conference for chemistry department. IQAC organizes a conference for botany department. That is not it. Quality initiative, what the workshops, seminars, conferences you conducted on for quality in the institution. Then what the collaborative quality initiative, other institutions they have provided name of the institution activity. Then participate in NIRF along with the status. What is your ranking in the NIRF? I think they tested the NIRF for 21, 22 is already out, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I just saw it in the newspapers. Then orientation program for quality issues for teachers and students. What the program that you have? Orientation. I'm not talking about the conference seminar, just the orientation program. Then any other quality audit as recognized by the state, national or international, IS certification, NBA, AAA comes in this. Okay, academic administrative audit comes in this, and they also have NBA is there. So these ISO you don't do, I would suggest, because ISO is too expensive and they don't know anything about I have no idea of NBA. ISO has no idea of institutions per se, academic institutions. They are more into companies. They do ISO certification. Now, in fact, I know one college went for ISO, they paid some 6 lakhs or some that way. And they had to give all the information to them, and from the information, they have culled out questions and things that way. That does not help anybody. You have to think of what you'll have to do you must have some quality audit done for the institution. So procedure meetings of IQAC, feedback analysis, all of this information are required, documents are required for you all. Supporting documents and put into NIRF along the link to the HAI's ranking in the NIRF portal, ISO certification, which are the certification you are going in for, right? Audit you are going in for. It's not necessarily going for ISO, you can go in for an audit. Then supporting document provided by the thing. Now, audit must be done by an external agency, preferably not by one faculty member from another college, a third faculty member from another college. Let there be an agency who will do the audit, because then it is more standardized. For example, if two people, I know one institution where they got 2 people from somewhere and third person somewhere else, and they did audit for a department. Now, for each department, different people are coming in. So each one asks their own questions. There's no standardization. Whereas if you go in for an agency or an organization which does it, for example, I know I'm talking very such a Xavier board which I do audit. We have a standard format for all the departments. So if you're not giving, we do not give report, whoever the auditors are, they will give a standardized report. Okay. If you look at the faculty, number of faculty, yes, for all the departments, you look at it. When you call single persons for audit for each department or whatever, they do not have standardized procedures. So whoever you are going in for, my personal thing would be look at an organization or a setup where you have standardized procedure for doing the audit, and the people are trained into doing audit. Then AQAR, not this, of course, AQAR I don't have to worry about because you're not in this thing. Collaborative quality initiative with sister institutions and the same management will not be considered. For example, one congregation runs 4 colleges. You have collaborated with X college and Y college on the same congregation. That is not accepted. Okay. So with this, I have finished my metrics. If you all have any questions, would you like to ask me anything to be, any doubts, any clarifications? I am most willing to share with you. Shall we wind up?
Yes, sure. We'll wind up and we'll get back for
sure.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Lata, ma'am. Thank you, all the participants. Thank you, principal, and thank you, manager, also for the patient listening and I mean, manager sister was present throughout, I think. Thank you, Sister Annie, and thank you, everybody.